Hello, my name is Ali, and welcome to my channel. We are back with Hakuoki Kyoto and Nagakura's route. Let's go. It was true. This wasn't a patrol, or even a guarding mission. This was the assassination of a former comrade, and an attack on men who'd split from the Shinsengumi. We're gonna say, still wanted to help. Please let me go. I won't get in the way.
This isn't like anything you've done before. You understand that, right?
We're killing someone who used to be one of us. Much as we don't want to, we might even have to kill Heisuke. I know. It's not something to be taken lightly. I knew that the Shinsengumi had carried out these sorts of black operations before. There was no way I could have stayed with them as long as I had and not known, but I couldn't just let them shoulder all the responsibility. I was done looking away until the deed was done. No more. Perhaps it's presumptuous of me to say so, but I consider myself a member of the Shinsengumi. And because we're going through this, I want to help everybody.
Then you're determined to do this, I see.
His face had lost its usual warmth. It wasn't anger or cruelty that it showed now, but the gravity of a general addressing his men.
Tell me then, how do you intend to help?
We are going to say I'll do anything. I already decided I'll do anything. I'll do anything.
I'm unsure of what I can ask of you, though.
Okay. That day, Kondo asked me to visit Dr. Matsumoto. Kondo had told me that I could return at whatever hour I wanted, so I took my time getting there, but I had a suspicion that this was their method of watching out for me to avoid my involvement with the assassination, if at all possible. The person who I had accompany me was... Oh, I wasn't expecting Yamazaki. Interesting. I apologize, Yamazaki. I'm sorry that you had to come with me to the doctor's shop.
Please, do not worry. I understand why the chief asked this of me.
No, it's not about that. I just think that if you weren't here, you'd be off doing something way more important.
Pay no mind to things like this. Their missions should be going well, regardless of whether I am with them or not.
I see. When Yamazaki and I returned to the compounds, we heard many different voices chatting inside. I wonder what's going on.
It seems like everyone has returned.
Inside, there was a large commotion going on, and then we heard a familiar voice call out to us.
Chizuru! Yamazaki! Is anyone around?
I'll be right there. The tone of Nagakura's voice was alarmed, and it gave me a bad feeling. Okie dokie. As I stepped into the dojo, which seemed to be the heart of the commotion, I was dumbfounded. Heisuke! Heisuke was sprawled along the floor, covered in his own blood.
What happened, Nagakura? They got to him. Just take a look at Heisuke now.
His wounds are too severe. There's nothing I can do here.
He needs to see Dr. Matsumoto immediately.
Time is not a luxury we can afford right now. Carry Toto to the back of the compounds.
Wait, what do you mean, the back? If the doctor is going to treat him, it should be right here.
Follow with what I am saying. Toto will be dead before we bring him to Dr. Matsumoto. Is this what you want, Nagakura?
Of course not, but what are you going to do to him in the back?
I, too, have no intention of letting him die.
Sanan, don't tell me you're going to make him drink the water of life.
That decision is not mine to make. I'm going to leave it for Toto to decide.
Fuck that! What are you, a demon?
By this point, Nagakura was screaming furiously at Sanan, going so far as to point his sword at him.
I am no demon, but I am a fury. If you aim to kill me, be sure to go for my heart, or behead me.
You guys, now is not the time for this. Toto will die at this rate. I know that.
Then I am going to be the one to make the final call. Is that clear?
Nagakura sheathed his sword as if silently resigning to Sanon's suggestion.
Damn it.
Nagakura left us with this last outburst, and he stormed off. Watching that, we're going to run after Nagakura. I couldn't just leave Nagakura alone after that, so I ran after him. Nagakura had retreated into the darkness of the common room. He stood alone in the middle of a vast, empty space, sitting and burying his face in his hands. He was trembling from feeling helpless and angry, so I slowly approached him from behind. Nagakura? Chichi! Aw, poor boy. Or man.
I knew in my heart that I needed Heisuke to pull through. So, I couldn't stop Sanon. Should I have let Heisuke die as a hero? Or let him live on as a fury? I don't know.
Nagakura was almost shouting at himself from frustration, but they were the same sentiments that I was feeling. I feel the same way too, Nagakura. I wanted him to live, but I didn't want him to use the serum. I couldn't help but feel the same. So, I know where you're coming from. Nagakura slowly picked himself up, and he sighed heavily. Butterfly! He was able to force a smile, and he looked into my eyes.
Thanks, Chizuru. I feel a little better hearing you say all that.
Then he gave another sigh, knowing that anything he could say could still be presumptuous. There's nothing more we could do. But there was so much to worry about. What's going to happen to Heisuke?
Well, guess it's kinda up to him.
That night, all Nagakura and I could do was to pray for him to recover. My goodness. The attack on the watch, as well as the assassination of Ito, later became known collectively as the Aburano Koji incident. An unexpected turn from both the demons and the Satsuma, from their trap-laying, resulted in a number of casualties for the Shinsengumi and the watch, including Heisuke's fatal wound. In order for Heisuke to live, he had no choice but to drink the water of life. While this was all going on, Chikage Kazuma took the time to strike at the heart of our compound. The serum brought into the Shinsengumi by my father was now slowly eating all of them away. My heart began sinking from the weight of it all this. My goodness. December 1867. December 1867. Scarcely a month had passed since Aburano Koji. Saito and Heisuke had returned, but the Shinsengumi was hardly back to normal. A dark, tense atmosphere pervaded the compound. Many men had lost their lives in Kazuma's attack. Even more had been injured during the attack at Aburano Koji. Among them was Heisuke. Several of the rank-and-file soldiers had seen him mortally wounded. He had looked as if he would not survive. For that reason, Heisuke was declared officially dead and made a member of the Fury Corps. Saito hadn't been wounded, but many among the common soldiers began to call him a coward. To them, he had left the Shinsengumi to join Ito, then betrayed his new master when he sensed a change in fortunes. I saw no reason why he shouldn't set them straight, and say that he had never truly left the Shinsengumi, but he claimed he would rather stay silent than tarnish the honor of the commander and the chief who had ordered his actions. As such, it was decided that Saito would leave the compound until tempers had been allowed to cool. He was sent to stay at Tenma in order to protect Kyotaro Miura, an official of the Kishu domain. The night of the battle at Aburano Koji was a turning point for the Shinsengumi. For the men who didn't know the details, it was simply a battle against their former comrades, the guardians of the Imperial Tomb. Those better informed knew the situation with the Satsuma and Choshu domains had changed, and Ryoma Sakamoto's hit was part of a big plan. Only the heads of the Shinsengumi knew the whole story, the activities of the demons, and Heisuke's transformation into a fury. They were also the only ones who knew that Okita's illness had gotten worse. Such an important battle had stirred up the atmosphere in the compound, and for several days there were excited men everywhere, shouting and talking. Moments of silence were quite rare. I felt I would only be in the way if I was wandering around the grounds, so I did my best to stay in my room by myself.
Ah, thank goodness you're here.
Oh no, not this. Sanan walked into my room without saying anything.
If you'd gone out, I wouldn't have been able to look for you.
Sanan? But it's daytime. Are you sure you're all right?
Yes. I've just had a revelation. I just had to tell you something immediately.
His eyes glittered with something, and even though he was smiling, I could feel the fingers of dread begin to poke at the base of my spine. Why me? Wouldn't you want to tell Kondo or Hijikata instead?
Well, it has to be you. You listened to my idea, yes?
Although he asked it in the form of a question, his choice of words made it seem far from letting me make a choice. Sanan started to talk without waiting for my answer.
Yukimura, that Princess Sen had claimed that you were of the demon clan, right? And as a demon, you are stronger, faster, and more resilient than a human. Demonic superiority was displayed quite clearly by those demons who just attacked us.
Well, I understand that, but what was Sanan trying to get at? My heart started to pound, anticipating bad news.
A demon possesses immense power. It follows that the blood which floods through demon veins should be similarly powerful. Perhaps it is even potent enough to completely counteract the madness of the Furies.
I didn't know how the Water of Life worked, but Sanan's explanation seemed logical, even if it was a bit manic. How can you know that for sure?
Since before I became a Fury, I've been researching how the Water of Life works. I know more about it than anyone else here. I still have yet to discover the exact composition of the Water of Life. But I am hypothesizing that a core ingredient is flesh blood, and I'm assuming not from a human. Perhaps there may be demons or demon-like entities roaming throughout foreign countries.
So... Sanan drew closer to me without making a sound.
In any event, I believe it's worth testing. Your very existence could save the Fury Core. No, the entire Shinsengumi.
Wait. Sanan's eyes had grown painfully sharp, and I almost thought I could hear the barest edge of madness in his voice.
Now.
Calmly, he drew his sword from its scabbard. There was no madness or bloodlust to his movements, and that only made them all the more terrifying.
Oh, there's nothing to be afraid of. I'm not going to kill you or anything. I just want a small sample of your blood, that's all.
I took a step back. 2. Sanan and his sword came closer. He lifted it, and the steel blade shimmered in the light. Then, all of a sudden, just then...
Hey, Sanan, what the hell are you doing?
Hijikata had burst into the room. Thank you, Hijikata. Then...
What is this, Sanan? Of all people, I'd expect you to know better than to draw your sword on someone in the compounds. Have you lost your mind?
Hijikata.
Oh, Hijikata. Excellent timing. Please give me a hand here. You also need to convince her to cooperate with us.
With calm purpose, he stepped between Sanan and me. I think that's supposed to be Hijikata, not Sanan.
Put your sword away. Personal conflicts are forbidden. The rules of conduct apply to everyone, even the captains.
Sanan glared at Hijikata begrudgingly for several moments, but he soon turned around and sheathed his sword. Itchy nose.
So what's happened? Did Yukimura do something?
I'm searching for a way to treat the madness of the Furies, for the good of the Shinsengumi.
And that means you have to cut her?
I'm not going to kill her. I only need a little of her blood. We've lost so many of the Furies from the battle the other day. Many of our human soldiers have fallen as well. If we are to effectively utilize the Furies we have left, as well as the ones we are about to create, then we must find a way to temper their madness. I know you for an intelligent man, Hijikata. Surely you understand.
The code says that we don't fight each other for any reason. You haven't forgotten, have you? So no matter what reasons you give me, I cannot condone bloodshed amongst our members.
However, Yukimura is not technically a member of the Shinsengumi.
Maybe not, but she's been here long enough. She might as well be. They continued to stare for a while, neither willing to budge on the matter at hand. Sanan sighed.
As usual, you're too soft. I guess I have no choice. I'll leave for now. But keep in mind, if we do not discover a method of suppressing the side effects of the water of life, even Toto will begin to suffer from the bloodlust.
Only after I heard the footsteps fade away down the hall, I began to breathe again. You okay? Oh, yes. Thank you for helping me. Nothing to thank me for. I just ensured Sanan followed the code. In the past, he wouldn't have stood up to me like that. I looked down. It's true. Sanan had been acting strangely lately. He would have never drawn his sword as aggressively as he just did before he drank the serum. I'm sorry. Huh? What's gotten over you? There's nothing for you to apologize for. Well, the reason why Sanan was acting the way he did in the first place was because Kazuma destroyed the Fury Core. After I said this, Hijikata paused and reflected to himself before responding. I think you've gotten things mixed up. Huh? They are allied with the Satsuma and Choshu. In other words, they are our enemy. If an enemy attempts to attack us, it's a given that we're going to put our lives on the line to stop them. He spoke with so much conviction, but it's none of your responsibilities to protect me. So what are you saying then? We should just offer you on a silver platter to them and beg for them to spare our lives just because they have powers and we don't? This is not the samurai way. For us, once we've decided on something, we will never compromise that decision. We're not bitches. Well said, Hijikata. Well said. Hijikata was so confident with what he was saying, and I felt there was no real contention to his claim. Even if he wouldn't say as much, I'm sure he knows that kicking me out of the Shinsengumi would make their lives so much easier. But if they did that, it would be a violation of the values they pride themselves on upholding. I'm sorry if what I said was out of line. I already told you. You don't have to apologize. Don't make me repeat myself. He's blushing. Hijikata said this timidly, muttering under his breath before looking down in my direction. Next time something like this happens, be sure to tell me. Don't keep it to yourself. You can always tell Yamazaki or Shimada too. All right. Understood. Hijikata nodded and turned to leave, but I realized I had one thing left to say. What? Is there something else? There were so many warriors who were injured as a result of the attack on the compounds. Saito hadn't been present for long recently, and Kondo was occupied with his meetings with the Bakushin. Similarly, I had a feeling Hijikata was feeling the pressure of all of his duties lately. I wished that I could be helping him in some capacity, but I might get in their way. What is it? I won't know if you stay quiet. We are going to say I'll stay here, I believe. Yeah. I'll stay here. Nothing. I'm sorry for stopping you. Huh? Did you lose your train of thought? Whatever then. I'm going to head back to my room. Okay. I watched his back disappear through the door, leaving me alone in my room again. As much as I wanted to be helpful for everyone, if I recklessly walk about the compounds and things like earlier happened, it wouldn't be good. Maybe it's just better I don't do anything. My goodness. As I was thinking that, the day had passed and night had fallen.
Hey, here you are, Chizuru. Can I come in?
Harada. Sure, that's fine.
Yeah, sorry for coming unannounced. Damn, am I glad you're here. I'm getting sick of this grumpy old wet blanket.
Funny. I was just thinking the same thing. Is there something wrong? I'm going to let you guys go here. I hope you are enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!